Hello everyone, this is the LEGO Creator Race Plane for 2019. This is a 3-in-1 set, so there are 3 official build options. They give you instructions for all 3, but you can only build one of those at a time with the pieces from a single set. I'm going to show you all 3 in this one video, starting with this. It's a helicopter, obviously, and it fits a minifigure which is included in the set. Not something that always happens with 3-in-1s. And this thing is short in length and tall in height. Uses a lot of pieces, but the fewest pieces of the 3 official build options. The canopy is a little bit open on the side. This thing definitely looks unique. It doesn't look like a Lego City helicopter or anything, you know. Has its own unique flair to it and everything. It's a little bit weird in some places, in some ways. But keep in mind that this is ultimately a propeller plane set. So this is just using pieces in ways that weren't really intended originally, you know, for the primary purpose of the entire set. So for what it is, you know, it's not bad. You can spin up the main rotor. The tail rotor is kind of non-existent. They give you a suggestion for it there. There are 4 of those small dish pieces included in the painted bright silver color. Got a couple of lights on the sides, these little winglets on the sides as well. Almost looks like the gear would retract, but they're pretty well locked in place. No tire on the front one. Canopy is able to open forward, and the figure, though this is a Creator set, Creator 3-in-1 at that, not even one of their, you know, ones that are really focused on minifigures. Well, he's got a control stick and a printed console. So, you know, pretty nice accommodations there, all things considered. With any of the build options, you're also left with enough pieces to make these pylons, which are intended to go with the whole air race theme. So you would set up your own, you know, start-finish line at the very least, or you could see these as being something you're supposed to weave through. These are simple enough, nothing else to see here. And here's a closer look at the minifigure, who almost looks like he came straight out of the recent jungle exploration theme, or sub-theme of Lego City, with the predominantly dark orange color there. Not something that you see very frequently on minifigures, but I think it's printed up pretty well with the flight suit, with all the harness and gear on there. It's a fairly common face, but yeah, it's pretty nice for what it is. Note that there's no print whatsoever on the hip piece. They just conveniently were able to kind of draw around that. Now, that helicopter build is the simplest of the 3 build options, and these are the parts that you're left with at the end. It's quite a lot. You could probably make several things from this, so don't hold yourself back. But the next build that I'll show you uses far more of these pieces, still not all. Next we have the jet plane option, a twin-engine, vertical, or at least short takeoff and landing craft that looks rather interesting. Has a very funky nose. I don't know about that. I would probably recommend that you use one of the cones from one of the pylons instead to make a more interesting looking nose. But the rest of it is also unique. The wings are angled way down, taking a little bit of inspiration from the AV-8 Harrier there. And with this one, you actually get some movable control surfaces. Well, multiple movable control surfaces. First of all, these can be moved up and down independently. Yes, there are stickers included in this Creator set. You'll see more on the main build as well. The wings themselves, though, that are angled down so, can be run flat, which kind of makes it look like a different craft to me. Makes it look like, or more like, the more recent Lego City planes. And I mean, they're just on ratcheted hinges, so if you want to bring them up, you can do that too. That gives you better visibility from a higher angle of these changeable ducted fan outlets, or just ducted jet outlets. So you can turn those completely vertical. You can use them as brakes or as reversers, like that, however you want to set that up. And then I'm assuming these are supposed to be the main jets up here. Inlets, I guess, are supposed to be here. These are supposed to be the exits, the outlets, you know, the exhausts. Yeah, don't like that personally, but you know, they just look too closed off, almost like they're trying to be mufflers or something, or resonators on the end there. This one has a fairly complete closed up cockpit section. Once again, they use that printed console piece up front, but there's no space for a control stick this time around. And the gear make I think a little bit more sense on this one than they did on the helicopter, but this does look good with those wings down like that. It just looks kind of aggressive and different, almost retro futuristic to me. A little bit of Jetsons kind of feeling. The only thing that I really don't like here is the nose, putting that antenna piece there. I get what they're going for, but I just personally don't like it. And it's a little bit difficult sometimes to get it to line up just perfectly. But an interesting build regardless. And again, you do still get the pieces to build the 2 pylons, or you could use some of those for some other stuff. And this time you're left with far fewer spares, far fewer indeed. Take this out as just one single thing, and you can see that this definitely is a better deal in terms of how much you pay and how much you build. But, of course, there is still the main build, which uses almost all of these pieces. This is the F4U Corsair inspired World War II era design, but modern hot-rodded, piston-powered, prop-driven race plane itself. There we go. This is more like it. Look at those inverted gull wings. Very, very aggressive angles there, though. Of course, you could make them less aggressive like that. You could leave these down if you want for even a different look. You can fold them up for carrier use, right? Retained that ability. But I think this is the intended angling there, just bringing them up a little bit. This has a fair amount of detail, especially around the engine. It's built up with more pieces than I expected inside of there. Got your exhaust, got the hoses there, all sorts of different things done for small surface textures. The cockpit bubble canopy is completely enclosed. It seals up very nicely. It's just attached kind of backwards, which is perfectly fine, perfectly sensible here. Again, you can move these control surfaces independently, either side. That's nice, and this does have all of the stickers available in the set. So you get 2 back here, right? Get the number plates right there. Get some more checkered flag ones at the wingtips near the front. Got your indicator lights there. And then there are 3 stickers around the cowling here. One here, one on the top, and then a matching racing bird emblem on the other side. Yeah, I like how this is put together. I like the size of the 4-bladed propeller there. LEGO very infrequently does propellers that are anything close to a realistic size, but that just presents pretty nicely. I feel like if this had fewer colors, it would be even more believable. But as it is, it's trying to be a hot rod race plane, and I think they got the style pretty right here. I like the stance on the ground as well. I was going to immediately say tail wheel there, but then I laughed when I saw it from the side and saw that it's practically underneath the pilot's seat. So is it really a tail wheel if it's near the center of the fuselage like that? Whatever you call it, it's supposed to be a tail wheel. Yeah. It's small. It would be better served farther back, but it's just more secure where it is. This has a little bit of a P-51D profile if you ignore if you just look at the fuselage and you ignore the wings, just look right there. Kind of looks like it, except for how stubby the tail is. It's not intended to be a replica of anything in particular, but clearly takes most of its inspiration from the Corsair. And then this one, I think, has the nicest cockpit. Does have the printed console. It's got the control stick, and then a little bit of extra, kind of fairing back there. That all goes underneath, but it all fits. Yeah, it looks nice. Most things about this look nice to me. This is the area that bugs me the most, just underneath here, but I get what they're going for. The fairing has just been removed to allow more room for bigger engine components and to help it cool itself off. Probably runs a bunch of boost and fairly lean. I like it. And as this is the main build, these are the only spares you get, a more normal looking small pile. I don't know if this is even supposed to be included as a spare. It's a nice dish piece to get, again with the painted bright silver color. It's almost chrome-like. It's painted on both sides, and they do a good job, or have done a good job with those this year, and that's it for the set. Considering the topic of value for this set, given the parts count and the fact that the parts have kind of average sizes overall, yeah, there's that one really big one, but then there are a bunch of 1x1s as well. Just feels like that 10-cent price to part ratio would work out for this. And when I look at the completed main build, which uses, you know, pretty much all of the parts except for the spares, it looks to me like a roughly $30 Lego set. And I wouldn't be surprised if they priced it at $35 in the US, and then, you know, you can always just look for a little bit of discount from retailers not too long after the release. But as it turns out, the suggested price for this is $30 to begin with. So I think this is already in a good place, even without discounts, even without sales. And it's an enjoyable build experience for any of the builds. You know, usually with these 3-in-1s, especially if they're not really big, the main build just kills the others completely. And then the one that's kind of in second place, at least to me, subjectively, you know, how much I like it or dislike it, is far behind. And then the third one is almost a throwaway, just a little demonstration of what you can build with some pieces, almost with some random pieces. In this case, that's great. That's actually really good, in my opinion. I think it looks really cool. It's very interesting. The angled wings really help that one. And I like the adjustable outlets on the sides. I just don't like the nose, but that can be easily changed up. And then even the usually throwaway build, the smallest one that uses the fewest pieces, kind of holds its own. You know, it is its own thing. All of these are colorful, but even this, I don't know, just seems more respectable than the third build usually is, just in my opinion. So overall, I feel like the designer has done a nice job here. And I think that if you like anything that you see here, that you will enjoy the set in person, because I think all three of these actually look a little bit better in person than I was able to convey through the camera. And my goodness, they are so swishable. So swishable. They just demand that you grab them and you fly them around and you mess around with these angles too, because why not? I mean, the hinge joint is there, so take advantage of it. Have fun with it. It's pretty good. And it comes with a figure as well. It's just asking to be integrated with other things. So yeah, I'm definitely happy with this one. Happy to have gotten it. Happy to have built all three versions, and you can see all three of those builds in one single speed build video over on my build channel. If you have anything you'd like to say about this yourself, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'll talk to you again as soon as I can.